Right then, it's a quick walk around video, and this is for a Lexus RX 450, the SEI version, obviously a hybrid car. This particular car, 2009, it's covered just 88,000 miles, comes with a full service history, black leather, and is in absolutely lovely condition for the age and mileage of the vehicle, I have to say. Going around the car for you, front first, apart from a few kamikaze flies, front's very clean, lights and lenses really good. Bonnet, again, for the age of the car, is in lovely condition, hardly a stone chip of any notes. There will be at the odd one or two, but nothing that jumps out. Near side of the car, panel work is really clean. Near side front alloy, one takes all the bashing, yet has got off very lightly indeed, hardly a mark on it. Main panels on this side, very clean indeed. Odd tiny kind of light brush mark, which is very hard to pick up on the cameras, but I mean, they are minuscule, so I don't think I'm being mega critical. In the back, again, still very clean. Just again the odd sort of minor mark under the black protector there, but most of which is just polished straight off. Offside of the car, again, incredibly clean in the panels. For the car its age to got away without car parking dinks that afflict so many cars. Offside rear alloy, again, absolutely lovely. And again, remaining panels incredibly clean, really. It's going to be one of the very nicest examples on this age and mileage and price anywhere in the country, I'd imagine. Coming to the boot area, good sized boots on these cars, and as you expect of a Lexus, beautifully finished. Obviously it's got the load liner there, which means the carpeted area underneath looks almost like new. Let's come to the back of the car now. Huge amounts of room, they are cavernous. Leatherwork, again, for the age and mileage and use that these cars have, it's been kept incredibly well. This is far better than most you'll see. We've got a lot of experience with these cars, and they can be battered where people haven't cared for them. And you come on the passenger side. Worth pointing out, there's a full set of original Lexus mats which are in lovely condition. I just forgot to put them in, they were being cleaned, so I do apologise, but they are and will come with the car. It's been just lovely. Finally come to the driver's door card, again, really clean and tidy. Driver's seat, the only one which is going to have anywhere, I mean, it's talking minuscule. And again, you see a lot of these with kind of cracked leather. People haven't cared for them, but this one really is miles better than most. Alright, so inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. It's incredibly clean in here. Sat nav, you can see there, working exactly as it should. Just pop the car into reverse, you can see reverse camera, again, working exactly as intended. It's very rare to see them like this. Come across the main dash binnacle, hopefully you can see 88,199 miles, and there are no warning lights on whilst the engine's running. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus RX 450, hybrid of course, and this is the SEI version. Car's registered RK09AWX, and mileage at the start of this road test is 88,199. The reason we do all of our videos, and especially, as we always say, this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car we're advertising actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is simply because, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out when you drive the car it's got an obvious fault that shows up when you're driving. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. This forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is then it will be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, very well looked after, as you know from the walk around video, lovely condition. Press the power button, car whirs into life, generally on a battery. These are, one of the, now referred to as kind of self-charging hybrids. The reason is that, they're trying to separate themselves from cars that are reliant on being plugged in or charged up, because you just drive and own the car like you would any normal petrol car. Should you sort of get low on fuel, you just stop and fill up fuel. Simple as that. It's 2 minutes at the pump. There's no kind of waiting for hours for sort of charging anything at all. I mean, it is brilliant in operation. Absolutely brilliant. Light years ahead of its time, and still, in my opinion, not really matched by the sort of other major manufacturers, because the way it all interacts is incredibly seamless. On the move, you got this wonderful 3.5 V6, which gives you sort of really refined performance in the vehicle. It's very quiet, it's tractable, but when you put your foot down, it sings as V6s do, but so smoothly and subdued. Really, it just doesn't grate in any way. There are no warning lights, by the way, on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge just under a half, which is exactly where it's meant to be. But superb, really, really is, and it works brilliantly with the gearbox, CVT gearbox, which in much smaller engine cars can, they can have their downsides. When your engines haven't got the power, so they have to really rev them up and up and up. This is the perfect companion, especially if you drive this after driving any of its competitors of the same vintage. They will all feel incredibly clunky and pretty much agricultural by comparison, especially doing little manoeuvres like that, coming to a stop, pulling away. There's no clunk as it engages its gears or drops a gear, indecisiveness. It's completely seamless and smooth. And when you're on the move, it picks up speed incredibly quickly. But if you put your foot down, revs pick up, car kind of catches up with itself. It's just, in this day and age, it's still hard to think of a car that can get you from A to B as smoothly as one of these cars. They are utterly, utterly superb. All the gearbox, by the way, all functioning exactly as it should. Then coming to the steering and the chassis of the car, steering tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at the speed or any speed up to legal limit, actually. First and foremost, these are not sports cars. They're not meant to be. Motoring press that say, oh, it's a bit barge-like, it's a bit... No, it does what it's meant to do brilliantly well. The steering's nicely weighted, it's accurate, but it's not going to unsettle the car, because otherwise that ruins the whole point of it. Most people that own these cars drive them as I am now, quite sedately. They bought it for comfort, so you're not going to be hurling it to the corners. But it deals with the corners actually rather well, especially better than the previous 400, which would feel sometimes a bit top heavy, a bit sort of wallowy, but in a kind of a nice old-fashioned way. This is much tighter in that sense. Body control is far, far better. So it does go through corners much better without unsettling the rear passengers in particular. But it still gives you this incredibly comfortable and compliant ride. As I said, I've taken one of these across parts of Europe, and they are a lovely car to travel sort of huge distances in complete comfort. They really are. Incidentally, there are no noises from the suspension going over bumps or clunks or anything like that, so all in fine fettle. Same goes for the brake pedal. Lovely powerful brakes on the car, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the pedal at all, so all in very, very good order there. Finally, coming inside, they are beautifully put together cars, really are. It's a lovely place to sit and drive. You've got great visibility in the car. You are in a premium quality car. You know that straight away when you look at all the materials used, the build of the interior. But it still looks fresh now. Everything's working. Sat nav, rear parking camera, dual zone climate control system, which gives you the option to have different temperatures side to side if you so wish, and that pumps out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. Likewise, heated seats working exactly as they're meant to as well. Dash binnacle in front of me, typical Lexus dash design, just beautifully detailed, very legible, not overly fussy, but some manufacturers seem to think you've got to have lots and lots going on, but they can be really distracting. But that is just beautifully detailed. Leather steering wheel still looks and feels like new to hold. It's just the whole interior of this car. And we have seen lots where, you know, the leatherwork can sort of get a bit cracked on some of the seats if they're not cared for or treated on a regular basis. And this is infinitely better than most I've seen on this sort of age of mileage. It really is. So the car just drives absolutely faultlessly. I can't fault it in any way. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.